So, calling this a press conference to order, we're here on behalf of the Peoria Riverfront Museum and our board of directors and our 4,000 members and our terrific team, 25 full-time staff members and 25 part-time staff members, to welcome you to the opening of two exhibitions. American Decoy, the Invention, and we're standing in the midst of this, one of the greatest achievements in a self-curated exhibition that the museum has ever pulled off. One of the most important self-curated exhibitions in our history. And right next door, 10 medical inventions that changed the world, which brings together inspiring ideas and invention and is one of the greatest partnerships we've ever had with the University of Illinois College of Medicine, jump trading at OSF, Unity Point, and Mayo Clinic, Colonial Williamsburg, and many others from whom we've borrowed. So, two great exhibitions we launched today, and we wanted to celebrate with our members who are watching live and our public. Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., the museum is open for two terrific side-by-side exhibitions to open the Year of Invention at the Peoria Riverfront Museum. And here to talk a little bit about the Year of Invention's first exhibition, the American Decoy, and to tell you a little bit about what's in it. What are we looking at around here? I want to introduce first our assistant curator of art, Zach Zetterberg, who has been the lead curator for this exhibition. The exhibition is sponsored by DVI, David Vaughan Investments, with additional support, major support from Ducks Unlimited through a grant from the Howder Foundation, Sid and Flo Banwart, Doug and Diane Oberhelman, Bob and Jean Gilmore, and the Visionary Society, who have really helped us put this together. So here to tell you a little bit about American Decoy is Zach Zetterberg, our assistant curator of art. Zach?
Thank you, John. Well, we're all here this morning because good enough wasn't good enough. The decoys in this room go beyond what you would need to be successful in hunting. They are more creatively made and more artistically realized than required. But this is not a new project for the Riverfront Museum. It is a continuation of a vision which began over 20 years ago at Lakeview Museum. Not long ago, the Illinois River Valley provided some of the greatest waterfowl hunting in the country. As a result, the demand for high-quality decoys grew, and the supply was met by legendary carvers such as Charlie Purdue from Henry, Illinois, Robert Elston from Bureau, Illinois, Bert Graves from right here in Peoria, Charles Schoenheider from Peoria, and Charlie Walker, just to name a few. Through this project, I've gained knowledge and a new appreciation for Illinois River Valley culture and the decoy as a folk art object. Our hope is that this exhibit inspires the same level of appreciation in the community and becomes a catalyst for creating a larger exhibition space in the Museum for Decoys. American Decoy would not be possible without the help of institutions such as the Shelburne Museum in Vermont, the Ward Museum in Maryland, and the Illinois State Museum in Springfield, and individuals who have dedicated their lives to collecting and preserving this truly American art form. To name a few, Randy Root, who is my new duck guru, Joe and Donna Tonelli of Spring Valley, Illinois, Tom Figge, Davenport, Iowa, Steve Havera of Lewiston, Illinois, and Ted and Judy Harmon from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. I really appreciate being given the opportunity to be involved with this exhibit and what has become one of the most comprehensive and valuable decoy exhibitions in history. Thank you.
Outstanding. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. I'll clap for that. So, some of you may know a little about my background. I've been here a little more than a year and a half now, and I started my career nearly 30 years ago at our predecessor institution, Lakeview Museum of Arts and Sciences. And at that time, as Zach just mentioned, the museum began to collect decoys. And today in our permanent collection, we have 150 decoys in our permanent collection, some of which are mixed in with the incredible loans of private individuals and institutional collections. And at that time, there was a great supporter of the art of the decoy in Peoria, who was a contributor and just a great thinker in Peoria, but to the museum, named David Vaughn. David Vaughn told me as a young professional in the museum that the decoy was about as American as any art form would get. In fact, he claimed that jazz and the duck decoy were the two art forms that sort of started in this country. And so here we are some 3 decades later, and it gives me such great pleasure that the leader of David Vaughn Investments has taken the lead on raising the funds to make this incredible national class exhibition possible in just sort of a perfect poetic moment. He himself is a decoy enthusiast and collector, as the leader of one of the leading financial firms in the state of Illinois, we are just so pleased to have David Vaughn Investments, DVI, as our lead sponsor, and with us today, the president of that firm, Will Williams, to make a few comments. Will?
Thanks, John. Thank you. Well, John mentioned David Vaughn, and frankly, that's the kind of the emotional connection for our firm and what's going on here. I mean, many years ago, we underwrote the Purdue exhibit, later the John J. Audubon exhibit, all in collaboration with the museum. And this is just a continuation of DVI, my partner's kind of love affair with the great outdoors. I must say that I give John Morris a great deal of the credit for what's going on here today. Frankly, John early on identified me as someone who might be able to support his efforts, and frankly, it was a tough go for a while there trying to raise the dollars for the decoys, and John, in his persistence, he kept telling me, they're coming. You need to raise the money to make it all happen. So John, thanks for your persistence.
Thank
but
you.
With that said, I truly hope that the community can embrace this exhibit and what decoys mean to the Illinois flyway. I mean, these were utilitarian craftsmen that ended up creating an art form. And I think as the community, I hope, embraces that art form, they're going to fall in love with it. So with that said, John and one and all, we appreciate the ability to be supportive.
Thank you.
Yep. And don't do it ever again, John.
Truly, Will, I need to say this in the presence of those who may be watching live, the media and our own staff, if you don't know this. Raising money for locally curated exhibitions has traditionally been a different game than raising money for the big high-profile out-of-town rentals that come for 3 months. In some ways, it's ironic because our local exhibitions should be what we raise the most money for. They're what we do. They're part of who we are. American Decoy has the most sponsorship behind it of any locally curated exhibition in the history of Peoria. And that is a major deal, and Will Williams and all of his funders and donors are to be given a tremendous amount of credit for that. So, second thing we want to talk about today, I suppose I should have brought a stethoscope or something for this one since I had my, is the 10 medical inventions that changed the world. So opening tomorrow for the public, an absolutely terrific collaborative exhibition. Again, with the University of Illinois College of Medicine, Unity Point, OSF, Jump Trading at OSF, and many other partners around the country. Our team here has worked tremendously hard. I want to give our registrar, Lottie Phillips, a lot of credit for helping to really account for all these items coming in, and our team here. Of Corey's done a great job in installation, but the lead curator of the museum and the lead curator for this exhibition is Bill Conger, and I want Bill to tell you what you're going to see in the 10 medical inventions that changed the world. Bill?
Thanks, John. Very briefly, I want to explain what a daunting task this exhibition was for an art guy. But it was a task worthwhile. Our history in medicine, in Peoria in particular, is absolutely massive. And we in the museum believe that this was a story worth telling and a number of questions worth asking our public. Before I go further, I'd be remiss in not thanking the most amazing curatorial team probably in existence to be able to handle me and all of these objects and get such an amazing show on board. So I want to make sure and thank my curatorial team as well. But as we move forward, when you go into 10 medical inventions that change the world, you will find actually over 50 medical inventions. You will encounter hundreds of stories, literally, about our area particularly and in medicine worldwide. And thinking about invention, we think about the future, but this exhibition actually takes place in the past and the future and presents a number of fascinating concepts, inventors, inventions, and objects that are absolutely fascinating to look at as well as think about. At the conclusion of the exhibition, viewers will be asked to reflect on the show and actually vote for the 10 that they believe impact the world the most. And we're also asking for their opinions of objects that we maybe were not able to get or something that we possibly missed. We love the idea of our community thinking about the importance of our area in Peoria. So in conclusion, we hope that Peoria enjoys its place in the medical inventions that change the world. Thanks.
Great, thanks.
So that is worth an applause. All of it's worth an applause. So one last thing, and then if anybody has questions. Invention is a key to the future of our economy in Central Illinois. We have invented the mass production of penicillin that saved tens of millions of lives. We have invented the white cane for the visually impaired here in Peoria. We have invented the first gasoline-powered automobile, which you saw when you came through the museum, the Duryea. We have been a community of invention and adaptation and innovation throughout our history. And so the museum aims with these two exhibitions and the remainder of the year to really uplift the culture and spirit of invention. And the whole team, some of whom are gathered here today, I give tremendous credit to, best team in the business, and get ready for the year of invention in Central Illinois. So thanks everybody for being here. Thanks to those who might be watching live. We appreciate all of your support for the museum.